in other projects you all have had, do you feel like you approach every project with a kind of like, do I start this as doc, do I start this as fiction? Or what tips you off to a place where you think, okay, now these are the strategies I might employ? I mean, we just talked about sort of risk, about sort of crime and risk, and that being, one set of things in which, this strategy makes more sense. Are there other indicators for you? Are there ideas for you, creative ideas that you think, okay, well, this makes, this is going to push me in this direction?
I'm actually much more interested in projects where I don't have control, because I think that's what is interesting about working in the documentary realm, that it has to stay continuously surprising. I kind of think each thematic or community with which we engage, or any situation, the moment and the project speaks back to us and determines the form of the film. So I kind of like it when it starts to show me, to reveal things about what's happening, and all of a sudden all the struggle and difficulty of really conceptualizing the piece comes through by the moment. So it's just interesting, because I wouldn't say I'm a film director, I say I'm a filmmaker, so I make it with the situation.
I'm not a documentary filmmaker at all. I'm a narrative filmmaker. I just don't believe in scripts. I think if I could write like Paul Schrader, I'd probably like believe in scripts, but I think that scripts are a way of killing a film before it gets made. And so, one of the things I do is to get financing, is to work on a story and really clarify and create a story that has dialogue and that has, I guess you could call them plot points, and that has an arc. And then, my goal is to then not worry about that script, and to develop the film and be surprised, and to go with those surprises, and to learn from those surprises, and to revamp your plan on a daily basis, and make something that's that someone just said about a film about Pavilion. They called it liquid, and that to me was like the greatest compliment in the world, because I'm interested in control, but I'm only interested in control so I can continue to kind of redefine that control and share that control with the situation at hand.
And have you worked with trained actors and non-actors?
I mean, I haven't made a feature film with trained actors, and the non-actors, asking non-actors to be actors is I feel defeats its own purpose, and also like would take, I think, years to develop the right rapport, and you can't really do that on a micro budget, and you can't really do that in various situations. I think fantastic movie Ballast is a fantastic movie where there's lots of video documentary of the rehearsals they did, and it took a long time. He went to the Delta all the time, and I feel like that movie is a masterpiece. I had to make Pavilion in 10 days, and so for me it was about telling them nothing. I tried to show the kids the story. They had no interest. They wanted to make a movie. They did not want to read my story, and thank God, So it was really about just continuing the creative process with the collaborators and going forward at all costs. Everything was a victory. Anything could go, because I didn't have a story that was like, I've got to get to page 12 where the gun is revealed. Even if that was in the story, it was like, that's not interesting to me. What's interesting to me is when you're on page 12, what is page 12?